Welcome to Unstoppable Real Estate Investing Wealth. My name is Billy Alvaro, aka the Unstoppable VA, former billion-dollar mortgage banker, gone bankrupt, turned professional real estate investor. Where each week you'll learn the tools, strategies, systems, and secrets myself and other highly successful real estate investing entrepreneurs use to start, grow, and scale their businesses, creating massive profits, and how you can too. And we'll teach you how to put those profits to work so you no longer have to. Get ready to finally experience financial freedom and generational wealth. Now let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Unstoppable REI Wealth. I'm your host, Billy Alvaro. I'm going to be bringing the heat again today. I have a special guest on today from South Florida. What I'm going to love about picking this guy's brain is that he is branding himself and growing his company. And I think we're going to get into a lot of the scaling aspects in today's podcast. As you guys know, it's about starting, growing, and scaling. And I'm happy to introduce Bobby Suarez from South Florida. Bobby buys houses. Bobby, welcome to the podcast, brother.
Billy, how are you, man? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm doing great, bro. I'm doing great. Let's get into your backstory just for quick couple of minutes. And then I want to get into what you guys are doing today, because you're doing some really amazing things. You have your marketing pinpointed, driven in. I want to pick your brain about what you guys are doing. So let's get started with how many years you've been in the business. How did you get started doing this business?
So I've been in the real estate industry since I was 19 years old, so 21 years in total. But more specifically, I got into the investment world in 2011. I started working for a real estate company that represented hedge funds that would buy single-family assets in mass. So I was part of their acquisitions team, just putting out offers on the MLS. And that's where I learned how to underwrite. I learned how to identify opportunities. And that's how I ended up, little by little, started dabbling in the fix and flip industry. And in 2014, I opened my own company. And I was a one-man show for 6 years.
Like we all were.
And then I probably had a few team members here and there, but we really scaled up the team. We brought in good people, I would say, in 2019 to 2020.
So 2020. So it's been about 3 years since you really started scaling this thing out.
Correct.
And you're predominantly in the South Florida market, Miami-Dade, Fort Lauderdale?
Correct, yes.
All right, so let's get an idea. I want the listeners to have an idea of what your structure is today. How many people you have in your organization, and what different departments do you have?
So we have 18 people. We actually just hired two new individuals that started with us this Monday. So I have lead managers. When the leads come in, they're in charge of, scheduling appointments for our acquisition agents. So we have acquisition agents. We have one TC. We have dispo agents that they're in charge of wholesaling our deals once we get them. I have a project manager, and we just brought in a new field manager, which his job is to assist and help out on our innovation deals that we recently implemented into our business. That's been good. And he's also helping out our dispo team. He's in charge of preparing the emails to go out, taking photos of properties, meeting sellers and buyers at properties and things like that. I think I got everybody. I have a COO and a director of sales.
Okay. All right. So you got 18 people in total. How many people in your acquisition side? Your buyers?
3 acquisition agents.
3 acquisition agents. All right, cool. Want to pick your brain in regards to your lead flow coming in. So there's different schools of thought. Some guys have the lead managers take the calls. Some guys have the calls go to an answering service. Some guys have their acquisitions people handle the calls. What does it look like in your organization when the calls come in?
So I like it, man.
I think you broke up there for a second. We're having technical difficulty. Please stand by.
All right, we're back. Do you see me now?
Yeah, you are. You're frozen, but I can hear you. There you go. Perfect.
So yeah, we have 3 lead managers, and they all have different shifts, and their job is to answer inbound calls, or let's say we get a web lead. Their job is to call that web lead within minutes to schedule an appointment for acquisition agents. So that's all they do all day. I like my team members to be very specific on their roles. I don't want them to have multiple roles because that's how they get burnt out. Naturally, acquisition agents are very unorganized. So to have acquisition agents calling leads back and actually putting in proper notes and things like that into our CRM, it's not going to work well. And I've actually done it in the past. It doesn't work.
Yeah, we tried that game as well. If we don't have our lead managers do it, there's a lot of shit that falls through the cracks.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm with you on that. How many leads on month on average, gross calls? Because like, I don't know if you do it like us, we have our gross calls and we have our net leads. How many gross leads a month are you coming in? And how many of those are actually turning into net leads where they're worthy of an appointment?
Yeah. So to make it easier, on a weekly basis, we get anywhere between 80 to 100 leads.
Okay.
So I would say we're getting anywhere between 275 to 350 leads a month. And on average, we're converting about half of that into appointments, some sort of appointment, either an in-person appointment or a phone appointment.
Yep.
Our conversion rate is very high, obviously, because we spend a lot of money on our marketing. So our lead quality is very good compared to guys that do cold calling or SMS. Since we're doing heavy TV, PPC, these leads are probably highly more motivated than the other type of lead sources. So we're able to convert them on a higher level.
Beautiful. And of those appointments, on average, how many deals a month, contracts are you guys taking down?
Man, right now, as of recently, we'll end up on any given month, 25 to 35 transactions. And that could be also novations, cash deals, like that.
Wholesale deals, rehab deals.
Wholesale deals, rehab deals, yeah.
Yeah, wholesale, everything. What's your mix, Bobby? What's your mix between your wholesale department, I'll call wholesale wholetailing as well, and then percentage of novations I think you just got into, and then rehabs? Could you break out the percentage of each?
Yeah, so novations have been creeping up, honestly. When I checked yesterday, I think we had 14 deals on the pipeline that are just novations.
Wow.
About $600,000 in profits.
Insane.
And I think I have almost double the double transactions on the pipeline for wholesale deals. And it's probably like $800,000-900,000 in profits. So our, novations is creeping up. Our profit margin is a lot bigger on the novation side. But to answer your question, I only try to keep deals where I have six-figure profit margin and or it's a very light rehab, meaning I'm going to buy it and put it in the market within a week or two.
Got it.
And, I want to keep my sales conversion cycle very low. We used to get in and out within 4 or 5 months. Now I'm getting in and out in many cases within 2 months.
Yeah, you and I were speaking before we got on the podcast. That's the challenge we're having in the Northeast. Like we're planning out twice per year. We have to do our forecast because deals that we're getting in, contracts that we're getting in May and June, we're not going to realize that money until the following year. So like right now we're recording this in August. In June of this year, we did our 2014 planning. We already had in the books close to $2 million of deals that we had contracts for this year that we're going to renovate that are going in next year. It's almost like a year. It's about a year to a year and 3 months by the time we get the contract and the time we actually realize that money, which is, it's a sick process. It's too long. It's way too long. Yeah.
And there's no way to shorten that up, or is that just the way that business is in your area?
I mean, look, the way we can shorten it up is we can do less rehabs, less of the bigger rehab deals, but we have to weigh it out. Like I don't just take on a rehab to rehab it. It really is based on what the economics are of the deal. If I'm going to make a big hit on this property and I can take it down, I'm going to have to wait 18 months. I'll do it. My rule is if we can make at least 50% greater than a wholesale, we'll renovate. And then I look at the timeline. And so it's I don't know, every market has its little nuances. It's different. New Jersey's a little bit different than New York, but not much. But some of these other small markets that we've dabbled in, South Jersey, Ohio, they're just easier. Pennsylvania, they're just easier to do deals in. The conversion cycles are a lot quicker.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah, different. So good. So you've tweaked your business. So what has transpired with you over the last 3 years to go from, I don't want to say a disorganized, but a smaller organization to where you actually started to scale this thing up? What changed?
I would say the most important thing that changed is I joined the mastermind. I joined the collective genius that we're both a part of.
Yep.
And I was it opened my mind to different possibilities. It was mind blowing what some of these guys are doing in CG. And in CG, I met with one of our mutual friends, Darren, and he mentioned to me about TV. I was like, you know what, man, I'm going to give it a try. Actually, that was one of the best things that I did was start doing TV advertisements in South Florida. And that now it gave us a consistent lead flow that we didn't have. I had a cold calling office in Nicaragua. The lead quality was very low. It was frustrating my acquisition agents, so I had a lot of turnover from the few guys that I did have.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have really good lead quality. We have, like I said, TV, PPC. My team is very happy because they're closing a lot more.
They're just better quality leads. When you're having people call you versus you pushing out and attaching to them, it's night and day.
Yeah, and aside from that, what I like about TV is that it gives me credibility, so I don't care to pay a higher lead cost because it's giving me credit in the marketplace. And we've been doing TV for so long, we're in front of people's faces that whenever you mention my company name, sell to Bobby, everybody knows.
Now, did you strategically change the business name when you went on TV? Because it was a different name prior to, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. So we were using Housing Investments Group. Before that, nobody knew who we were. Our marketing team helped us put that name together, and it's been working ever since, man.
Yeah, man.
Now sell to Bobby.
What do you sell to Bobby, man? You got the website, the branding. I mean, everything. I checked you out. I mean, we've known each other now from CG, but I checked out all your online stuff. It's really well put together, bro. Like that whole brand, the common thread through all your social media accounts. I looked on the splash page that you have that you send people to from from the TV commercial. Really well put together. How much are you investing monthly in TV right now?
Man, combined, we're at $250,000 a month. On TV,
combined, what do you mean?
Between PPC, billboards, and TV.
Got it.
TV, we're probably, I just sent a wire of almost $200,000 for last month.
Yeah.
So we're around anywhere between $40,000 to $50,000 a week.
Yeah, that's and you if you're getting the return, you're making the money back, it's all worth it. Talk to me about on the TV. Are you guys going local, or are you doing more of the non-cable channels like Channel 7, Channel 12? Like, where are you marketing on TV?
So we're doing a lot of our local channels. We're on every local channel in South Florida. We've dabbled on cable, but honestly, it doesn't work as well as our local channels. And we also do some Spanish commercials too on like local channels.
Sure. How's that working out specifically on the
man, the Spanish market is very difficult, so it doesn't work as well as our English market. But I think it'll eventually, if we continue to be in front of their face, they'll eventually trust us more, and I think it'll eventually work.
You think it comes down to trust because they're just untrusting? They just don't think they're going to get robbed.
Yeah, imagine they're watching some guy on TV. They may be skeptical. So I think if they see me enough times and I'm in front of their face, eventually they'll be like, you know what? If that guy has the money to be on TV, he must be doing something right. And that's the mentality that a lot of these people have. So I think it'll eventually work through all time.
Tell me your process for underwriting deals, because I know you said when you first got in, you were working for a hedge fund. You really honed in your specific skills for underwriting. Yes. How did you train out your sales team, your acquisitions team to underwrite? And let me ask you another question that goes with this. Do your sales guys do the underwriting, or do you have a certain person or department inside your organization that does the underwrite for them?
So I have my acquisition agents do their own underwriting on their own. We don't have an asset manager or anything like that. Man, what I've done is I have appraiser friends come and train my guys. We actually do it once a month. Today at 1 p.m. we have an appraiser coming to our office, and we're doing like a refresher course just to keep them up to date on how appraisers are actually coming up with values and things like that. So yeah, man, I just bring other professionals to train them the proper way.
So that's a great idea. So the appraisers are coming in to teach them how to get the overall ARV, the values of the property. And there's a ton of different nuances that the appraisers are going to do. I'm sure they're going to scale it back and make it a little brain dead, more easier for these guys to digest. How then do you go about training them to come up with the offer, right? Because the ARV is one thing, the repair cost is something else. So what does that process look like in your organization?
Yeah. So we have a pro forma that I created, and they use that. They plug in the numbers based on the ARV, based on what they think the rehab would be on the property, and also based on how long they think we'll hold that asset. And then it'll shoot out a number where we want to be under that number when we acquire the property. So it's based on a pro forma that we use, that I created. On average, we want to at least try to be and have a 20% profit margin.
That's good. That's a decent, and it's a simple spreadsheet. I'm sure you just plug the numbers in.
Yeah, it's an Excel sheet. Yeah, you just plug the numbers in, and it tells you where we need to be at.
How did you go about training them on the repair costs? Because that's one of the challenges a lot of guys in our space have. Like, we created a spreadsheet in our organization, a cheat sheet, that it's not specific in detail for our AMs. It's really detailed for our PMs. But they have like maybe 15 different line items, and there's a roundabout number that they can plug in as long as we know the square footage. And it's literally within a few percentage points of what the repair costs are going to be.
Man, we used to do it individually, where look at the kitchen, come up with the price for the kitchen and the bathrooms and the roof and the AC. Now we do it based on just like a price per square foot. If it needs like a high-end rehab, if it's kind of like a medium type rehab or a low end rehab, and we'll just plug in like a price per square foot, and it gives us more or less the number based on the square footage of the property.
Yeah, similar. Yeah, similar. You have to have these little cheat sheets, otherwise these guys, they can't. You have to make it fast, easy, and simple for these guys to produce. Yeah. Look, sales guys, acquisition, they're not analysts. They don't have the mind capacity to sit there and dive into the numbers. They want to get on the phone. They want to know what they can offer, and they want to go out and close. And if you make it any more complicated than that, you're going to have guys that aren't going to close and going to get stuck in doing shit that they're not good at.
Oh yeah. I agree. I totally agree, man. Like I said, these guys, they're many of them are not organized, and I'm not saying it in a bad way. It's just their personality type. They're closers, man. They want to just be closing. They don't want to be worrying about the details.
They don't like the details. I'm not a detail guy. I have to force myself to be a detail guy. It's me either. Yeah. So, Bobby, you're in your organization. What are you specifically doing? Your role? What are you doing on a day-to-day?
So I act as the CEO. I'm sorry, and my job, man, is just to solve any major problems. So if my COO or director of sales run into issues that they can't figure out, they come to me and I tell them how to fix it or how to do it.
Yep.
So it's mainly, man, just making sure that things are moving along, that there's no bottlenecks that's holding anybody up. I also implement a lot of ideas, man. I'm constantly coming up with new ideas to stay ahead of the game and of our competition, or new marketing strategies. So I'm just trying to think more long-term strategy, visionary type stuff.
What challenges have you guys experienced, if any, with the market changes down in South Florida? Because I know a lot of our friends in the Midwest and West Coast, they've been getting hammered for the last year. I know us up here in the East Coast, we have no inventory at all. So we're not really seeing what these other guys are seeing. What's it looking like down by you?
Man, it's the same as what you're seeing down here in South Florida. There's very little inventory. There's very little supply. So whatever we put out on the market, it's selling within days, man.
Yeah.
We're also getting a lot of migration from people moving to South Florida. They're moving over here because of, favorable laws and the weather. So just a lot of people moving here with a lot of money, and they're looking at our prices and like, man, I could get a house for this price. Yeah. In New York or in California, it's double the price.
Yeah.
So,
although, man, you guys in South Florida, the values have gone up considerably, man.
Yeah, we're definitely catching up.
No doubt, dude. I had a house that I flipped out a long time ago. I sold it. It was like just about $1 million, and this thing was just appraised and close to $4 million on the Intercoastal. And this was just 15 years ago. That's insane.
Yeah,
price increases you guys are seeing down there.
It's nuts, man. But people are paying, man. like I said, there's no inventory. So you put it on the market, as long as you price it decent, it's going to sell.
Yeah. What's in a hopper for you guys? Like, where do you see yourself going in the next 2 to 5 years?
Man, honestly, I enjoy having a lifestyle business. I enjoy traveling with my family a lot. I have a place in the Florida Keys. So man, I'm probably going to stay more or less where we're at now. I don't want to scale past where we're at now. I don't want to have more than 20 employees. I don't want to have to worry about hiring more people, man. I want to keep it the way it is right now. It's working.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stay in cruise control for the near future. I'm looking to scale other businesses that we could integrate within our business, but that's it.
What other businesses you looking to get into?
We just opened it's a hard money lending business.
Sure.
So we're looking to integrate that to our business, and that's it. Honestly, I'm going to focus right now on growing that, get somebody to help me operate it, and I'll just be like the marketing channel to bring in the business, me and my dispo team.
It's crazy because you think, like, I had a huge company one time. I had 950 employees, and it's not all what it's cracked up to be. You really, when you get to be that size, or even a small company like ours, we have 28 people now working for us, and I don't, as much as I want to grow, I don't want to grow because it requires more of my time, and I really like the life. I don't want to work 60 hours a week and be tied to my desk. I'm not enjoying it.
Yeah, man.
It's
I see that you were in Puerto Rico. It's great, man, to be able to do whatever you want, and you can work anywhere, right? But if you have 1,000 employees, I'm sure they're going to be needing a lot more of you,
Yeah. I've been down that road.
Keep it simple, man. Try to figure out a way to maximize what you're making with your 20, 28, employees or team members.
Yeah.
And have a lifestyle, man, and really enjoy life.
I love it, bro. You mentioned in your bio when I was bringing you in a couple of things you wanted to share regarding culture. Talk to me about how you've really honed in on your culture inside your business.
Yeah, man. I made a couple key hires where it's definitely helped me build out my culture. One of them being my COO, and I recruited her from a Fortune 500 company. She used to be head of HR at this company. And I hired her mainly because I trust her, and honestly, because, man, people love her. She just has an amazing personality.
Yep.
I've had employees come tell me that thank God you hired her, because if it was just you that I had to report to, I wouldn't work there. You're too dry. You're too straight up. So it's pretty funny that I've had employees tell me that. But so I bring in people, man, honestly, that have more outgoing personalities than I do.
Right.
Another one being my transaction coordinator. She's almost like the motivational person in our team.
No shit, huh?
She's right at the entrance of the office, and people walk in like, "Yo, get me more contracts, keep me busy." Like she's always motivating the team.
I love it.
An amazing personality. So I think that's super important, bringing in people that are very outgoing. And aside from that, man, we do a lot of team outings. Every quarter, we do a team dinner where I splurge. We go somewhere nice. We give out awards for certain people that excelled in their position. And we just enjoy our company, man. Every Tuesday, we just had to run in here now. We just finished our Tuesday. We call it Limitless Tuesdays, where, man, we're just here going over what, we recognize different individuals, what we're grateful for, and we go over our numbers for the previous week.
So important, bro. That whole grateful thing is very important, bringing that into the organization.
Super, man.
Super important. Out of curiosity, what is your PI? You've taken PI, right?
Yes. So my PI, I'm a venturer.
You're a venturer.
Yeah. It's very similar to Captain and Maverick.
Yep.
How about you?
A Maverick, and I'm stretched out across the spectrum, bro.
Yeah. My A is about to fall off.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, man. So, and I'm also a little bit on the introvert side. I force myself to speak and be more charismatic. But again, that's just my personality, man.
Yeah, so you are.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Well, Bobby, listen, getting to know you at CG has been great. We had dinner, I think it was like about a year ago. We sat down, we broke bread, we hung out. You're a solid human being. You're doing some really good things with your organization. You've come a long way in the last 3 years, bro. Like, you've literally exploded in 3 years. Good for you.
Appreciate that,
bro. If people want to find you online, check you out, where do they go?
Best way, they could look me up on Instagram. It's Bobby Suarez. That's, you know, or they could email me if they have any questions or if they have any deals in South Florida, Bobby@selltobobby.com.
Beautiful, bro. Really good having you on, dude. I'll let you get back to your day. Good seeing you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, man. Nice talking to you, man.
You too.